Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday and welcome to Conversations with My People. And I'm telling you, today I have on one of my people for sure. So, we've heard lots of people that are out there struggling with very specific things around this pandemic. And it's not the COVID-19 virus that they're personally struggling with, but it's the COVID-19, COVID-20, COVID-25 plus, those LBs that have somehow managed to just end up on their bodies. They just kind of like packed on out of nowhere this weight, and of course, I'm being a little funny, but it's been a lot of anxiety time. We're staying indoors, where we're not going out, we're not able to go to the gym and work out as much as we used to. We're cooking more. People are, I'm hearing about so many people, oh my God, I'm baking, I'm cooking, and I've been eating while I've been baking and cooking. So, before you know it, it's like, bam, you go to put on that cute little skirt and the skirt is not fitting. So it's like, I have my go-to person for this. When things just sort of end up a little bit more weight on my body, I call this woman who I have worked with for almost 30 years now. And that is my dear friend, Barbara Crosby. She has been somebody that I've worked with since Equinox. I've watched her take the weight off of many people. She's actually still legendary there. As I say this to her, and I mean it with so much love, like as the queen of weight loss, because people that could not lose weight, like those people that would say their baby weight, I just can't get these last 10 pounds off. It's been months and months and months, and I couldn't get that off. And they go in, they meet with Barbara. She puts them on a plan. Remember that word, guys, plan. I love that word. It doesn't happen without a plan. She puts them on a plan and they start losing the weight. And what makes Barbara a lot different than other people is, yes, it's a lot about the food, and it is about working out, but Barbara really understands that there are other things. There are emotional things. There are physical things. There are things with the way in which we talk to ourselves that can actually hinder us from losing the weight. So those are the kind of things that we are going to jump in today and get in there and really understand, okay, what is it that we can do in the next 7 days to literally jumpstart, reset our metabolisms, because that's really what we need to do right now. And I'm going to tell you a little secret because I've been doing it for the last 5 days. All right. So now I want to introduce to you my dear friend, Barbara Crosby. She's a nutritionist. She's a life coach. She's an author. She's actually just come out with a whole online training program to actually help people become better life coaches, better trainers, better health coaches, so you can really make a difference with your clients. So I love this woman. So please welcome my dear friend, Barbara Crosby. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, and thank you. And I love you so much. You were the one who started it all for me. You really did.
So before we do this, I just want to, we always do this. And if I forget, they always tell me, how come you forgot the breaths, Lavinia? So let's just, we're going to do.
I did it before I got here.
Okay, good. But we're going to do it with our community. So let's do 3 big, deep healing breaths. Okay. So we're going to inhale love for 4 counts. We're going to hold our breath for 5 counts, and then we're going to exhale, just energy that isn't serving us. We're going to release that. Okay. Inhale love. Hold your breath and smile. Exhale, and really release whatever energy is not serving you. Inhale love. Hold your breath. Exhale, Inhale love. Hold your breath. Okay, now we're grounded and we're ready. And
Love it. Oh,
so Barbara,
that's it for me.
yeah, you're so good. So let's just jump right in there and let's really tell people what they need to do to reset those metabolisms, to get a jump start. Like we want to just get a jump start for genuine weight loss. Like what are the things, like people grab your pen and just like write this down.
First of all, I'm going to go through some of the plan. You must have a plan. A plan means discipline. And you've got to set it in your mind that you're going to do it this time. We have to clean everything up from this pandemic. So many people, they were cooking, they were eating away their worry and their panic and not knowing what's going to happen. And we still don't know what's going to happen. So food is love. And a lot of us are brought in really junk foods because, of course, the sugars and starches produce serotonin. And, you know, we weren't thinking about too much other than surviving what we were watching on television. It was scary. It put us all in a panic. We were bored, so we ate. Food became our substance of choice. So now we got to clean it up and we got to have a plan. And I remember doing this for myself over 30 years ago. And I wrote everything down and I had discipline with my plan. And I'm going to give you a little bit of knowledge that helped me stick with my plan. And then we'll go over diet.
Okay, great.
Now you can all use your computer. You can look on the calendar. I want you to pick the days you're going to exercise. We got to exercise. You cannot lose proper weight without exercise. You can't feel good. We've been sitting on our rumps too long.
Right.
So I used to pick on my calendar, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever it is, you need 3 or 4 days of exercise, 40 to 45 minutes. That's part of your plan. Okay. The second plan is you've got to shop. What day are you going to shop? You've got to have the foods in that we need, the clean foods, to get our metabolism going again. It's been sitting too long. It has too much junk in it. So you've got to plan the day you're going to shop. Then you're going to plan your meals. I used to think, what do I really want to make this week? What am I going to eat for my lunches? That I didn't have to think about the minute before lunch or the minute before dinner. I had that in my plan and it works. It's discipline. We need discipline to succeed. So we're getting rid of all the junk foods. We're going shopping. We're picking a day we're going to shop. We're going to bring in fresh, healthy, clean foods, low-fat proteins, green leafy vegetables, lots of low glycemic fruits, sweet potato, water, cold pressed olive oil, fresh lemons, limes. Get a variety of healthy foods in again and get the junk foods out. Because when the junk foods are out and you're looking at the good foods, you will stick to your plan. Right. And remember, water. Everybody hates that word, but water raises your basal metabolic rate 30%. 30%. When people come in and say, Barbara, I just can't do anything. I can't diet. Of course, that's limiting beliefs. But I'll tell them, just drink 8 glasses of water this week and I'll see you next week. And they will lose weight. So you must get that water in. And I drink 3 or 4 glasses before noon. That's part of my discipline. That's part of taking care of the things I need to take care of that I wouldn't have time to do in the middle of the day. So now you picked your days of exercise. You know when you're going to shop. You know what you're going to shop for. And now we're going to start. So I'm going to give you a plan that will work and will take off. It should take off 3 to 5 pounds in a week. How did you do, Lavinia?
So everybody, I went on because I knew we were going to do this segment. So I thought, you know what, let me go on it so I can speak firsthand um, on my experience of it. So I did it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and today is my 5th day. And first of all, honestly, it was a little bit more food than I'm even used to eating. Now it was different food, but it was, so I would get up and I would have, I'm not get up, but after but I would have my really great egg white omelet. One day I put an egg yolk in it and I would
So
put,
why don't we, what did you lose anything in the 5
oh my
days?
God, I'm not only, okay, so this is really funny. On Sunday, I go to the farmer's market every week, and it was really, really, really hot here. So I just wore my workout clothes, like I had my tank top on. And I had 2 people saying to me, oh my God, you have the most beautiful arms and shoulders. And honestly, like I have not heard that in a really long time. Now, and yes, when I was younger, I got very used to people always be walking in a room and it would be like, dang, girl, you're strong, your arm. But I haven't heard that because I feel like I've had actually a little bit of extra fat on there. So that was Sunday. And then also, I had my dear friend Devin, who's, Mr. Performix, Mr. Fitness. And he was over with his girlfriend on Sunday. And they were like, you are so ripped. Oh my God, you're so fit. Now, I have been getting fitter and fitter through this pandemic because for whatever reason, I've had the time to just work out more. And this extra couple of days of just changing my diet, because my diet before was almost a little bit more carbohydrates, a little more vegan. I tend to follow more of a vegan diet, and I don't think I get the amount of proteins that I've been eating over the last 3 days. So I see where that protein really makes a big, big difference. So yeah, like it was like, I feel really good.
Great. I'm going to talk about doing a vegan program, but I have to be honest. The weight comes off much slower because, legumes, they have carbohydrates, they have sugar.
Yeah.
So it's not unlimited. So the amount of beans and grains that you're allowed is very small.
Yeah.
People think they can have unlimited and they can't. With the protein, it's unlimited.
Right.
Because it suppresses your appetite, it stabilizes your blood sugar. So with the vegans, it's a very difficult challenge. And generally they'll switch and they will have some eggs when they see how hard it is to lose weight, because this is very, very, very fast. And it's instant gratification when you do it this way. So that's why the decision that you will do this and you are getting thinner and thinner every day in every way is so important. You've got to see yourself accomplishing this goal. All right, so let's start. So breakfast, we're going to use low glycemic fruits. Why? Because they metabolize quicker. It doesn't raise the blood sugar as much as the other fruits do.
So why don't you tell people what those, because not everybody knows what the low glycemic.
I'm going to tell them. So low glycemic fruits are strawberries, blackberries, raspberries. Blueberries are a little bit higher. They have double the amount of sugar. Cantaloupe, very low on the glycemic index. Kiwi, very low on the glycemic index. So I use a little watermelon, but it's half the amount because watermelon does have more sugar, but it's a great diuretic. So generally the portions for the strawberries and the cantaloupe are a cup at a time. That would be your normal portion. You don't have to just eyeball it. And using those with low glycemic index vegetables, any vegetable that has color, carrots, red peppers, yellow peppers, orange peppers, they have more sugar. So we're not going to use them the first week because they're going to slow down digestion. They're going to slow down your weight loss. So we're going to use the simple carbohydrates, greens, all greens, which are healthy for us. We need them. And we're going to use the low glycemic fruits and low fat protein. So for example, breakfast, start off a little bowl of berries, or cantaloupe. Make yourself a nice fluffy egg white omelet. You can put in a whole egg if you're comfortable. I use a whole egg. I'll put in about 3 egg whites. I'll have sauteed mushrooms made in my refrigerator, and spinach, kale, tomatoes. I make a nice fluffy egg white omelet with maybe 1 egg. With my fruit, coffee, you can use coconut milk if you want, or almond milk. And if you're not dairy free, you can use low fat milk. But the most important is make that breakfast a very healthy, hearty, clean meal. The second choice would be a protein shake. Now, when you pick a protein shake, I always get an organic one. I do have I use vegan protein shakes. Make sure that the average serving is only about 180 calories. Make sure your protein is high and your carbohydrates are low. So
when you say high, is that like 25 grams or is that 40?
Between 25 and 30 grams of protein.
Okay.
And 5 to 6 grams of carbohydrates.
Okay.
So you want to use your average serving. I use my bullet. I do use water. You can use almond milk if you like. I put frozen organic berries, or I put sometimes peaches. It's summer and that's low glycemic in the shake. I'll put a few almonds. And the trick is I also put a nice handful of fresh kale. Kale has as much protein as a chicken cutlet. You're not going to taste it as long as you have enough berries in, you have your protein powder in, and whip that up. And that is a delicious breakfast, especially for the summer. Mm-hmm. Another choice would be, I like lox. I don't know if people like lox. I'll roll up a little lox with some avocado and my berries. And that's a great breakfast. Very high in protein and nutrients. No, there's no bread yet. But yes, bread comes at the second phase. So usually.
So when am I going to get the bread?
You're going to get the bread. It's generally about 10 days, 10 to 12 days.
I have another
but in 5 to 7 days, the average weight loss is no less than 3 to 5 pounds. None. Right. Because you're getting rid of all the white stuff. You're getting rid of the foggy brain. You're getting rid of all the junk in your system. You're cleaning it out. And these foods work because they're good foods. They're not GMO. They don't have additives and preservatives in them. And you're using low glycemic fruits and vegetables that will speed up weight loss. Now, mid-morning, if you're hungry, you can have another fruit, a little fruit if you prefer. I like a lot of lemon water mid-morning. I like to get at least 4 to 5 glasses in before 12 o'clock. But you can have another fruit if you want, or if you wanted even a little bit more protein. Some of my clients can't drink their shake all at once, so they drag it through from breakfast until mid-morning. Now, lunch. Now you have a plan. You have all your vegetables in your refrigerator, I hope. You have them cut up, you have them prepared. So you're going to make yourself a nice green leafy salad. And you're going to use 3 to 5 vegetables. Your body needs to break them down. It helps with speeding up digestion. And then you're going to use low-fat protein. And what would that be? Chicken, and you can have roasted chicken, but no skin. Fresh turkey, no processed foods at all. That slows down digestion. You don't need those chemicals. Fish, I buy wild fish. You can buy salmon, flounder, sole, codfish, shrimp. I even get wild shrimp. Lobster, it's summer. You can have, if you're a meat eater, you can have a hamburger. You can have a little sliced London broil. There is no limit on your protein because your protein is going to clean out all the junk that we've been eating through this pandemic. And then you're going to use cold pressed olive oil, so important for our skin and so important for our heart. So people are afraid to use real olive oil. They use these low fat, no fat dressings. They are the worst. They slow down digestion. You're not going to get the best results with it. You think you might, but you're not. Then I always put in some fresh sliced strawberries in my salad, or maybe some blueberries, just to make it look pretty, and it tastes delicious. And then put lemon, limes, and that's it. Mid-afternoon, our blood sugars drop. That's the time we just feel like having some cookies, or we want to take a nap, or a couple of cups of coffee. Your body needs a boost. That's one of the most important snacks of our day. And what could it be? Well, for now, you're not going to use any nut butters, because that will slow down digestion, because that takes longer to digest because of the fat content. You can use 100 calories worth of nuts, which is about 15 almonds. It's like 12 cashews, or you could have another protein shake, or you could have some protein left from your salad, or you can have some vegetables if you want. But make sure that it's in your plan, that you know what you're going to have mid-afternoon. A lot of clients use these protein bars. I mean, if that's what you like, that's fine. I used to have them myself. I don't use them anymore, but some of the protein bars are very good. You just have to make sure that the protein in your bar is higher than the carbohydrate. So if you're getting a bar that has, let's see, 12 grams of protein and 20 grams of carbs, you're not eating it. That's all sugar. You have to have more protein than carbs.
I've been doing for a snack, I've been doing the seaweed, you know, the little seaweeds. I take that, and then I cut up the salmon, the smoked salmon, and I roll that.
Delicious.
And it's so good. Like, it really is good. I'm excited to have it. That's been a lifesaver.
And you know, Lavinia, you really have to like what you're eating. I don't eat things I don't like. I mean, I've trained myself to eat a lot of kale. Now I love it. A lot of people say, I don't like protein. I don't like protein. Well, that's limiting beliefs also. You can change anything about yourself, anything, if you understand how you use your limiting beliefs to get to your goals. So nighttime eating, I always have another salad. It doesn't have to be as big as lunch, and you don't have to have a salad, but make sure you have some cooked or sauteed green vegetables. You don't want to use your red vegetables again, because why? They have more sugar. You slow down digestion. So you have your vegetables and you'll have your protein, your chicken, your meat, your fish, as much as you need to feel satisfied. 2 or 3 times a week with fish only, you're going to have a small sweet potato. Sweet potatoes are lower.
I can have a sweet potato now?
Yes.
Oh my God, I didn't even know that. So wait, I guess I didn't. I think I just put it in my head that I wasn't going to have any starch or anything. So, okay, good. So
well, it is low on the glycemic index. Okay. And then, so you're going to have your protein, your salad, your vegetables twice a week. Have your sweet potato. If you want to lose faster, don't have your sweet potato. But you have made a commitment and you are disciplined that you are exercising. So I am telling you all of this, knowing that all of you are exercising at least 4 times a week for 40 minutes. No excuse. You have to make that decision, because that's how you're going to rev up your basal metabolic rate. You can eat. You don't have to weigh and measure, as long as you earn it. Right. And then at night after dinner, and remember, you're drinking water throughout the day. I'll always, now this is high on the glycemic index. However, it has brawlium in there. This is an enzyme digester. I have fresh pineapple. I'll have about 3/4 of a cup. A cup of fresh pineapple is only 70 calories. It's not a lot. Yes, it has sugar, but it has those enzymes to help you digest faster. And not only that, it takes away sugar cravings. So all of these good, healthy, clean foods, you will lose weight.
Well, I will tell you, like, I did not really have cravings. And I kind of thought I was, because again, my diet definitely has more quinoa, and it has gluten-free. I love this one gluten-free pasta that I make with a lot of vegetables, and I put pine nuts in it. Um, so I was kind of concerned in the beginning that I was going to be like really having a hard time because of the normal way I like, I normally eat with beans. Um, and I really didn't. Like I was really surprised. And I even went to like my favorite place the other day, to to Justa, which is in Venice. It's a bakery, but I went there because they have this amazing roasted chicken. It's so great. So I got the roasted chicken, and I really got my friend a loaf of the of the gluten-free bread, because they make the best gluten-free bread in the world. And I thought to myself as I'm driving home, like, I can't believe I'm putting myself through this. But, when I got home, like, I didn't even want to like cut the little end of the bread, where I thought I was going to be like cutting the end of the bread, chewing it, and then throwing it out. Just like something. I really thought I was going to have this moment, but I had nothing. I was really
actually. Remember what this program does. It deflates you.
Right.
When we eat carbohydrates, your fat cell expands. When you're eating a protein, constricts. So it's deflating your body. A lot of my clients will do this for a couple of weeks, and then we put them back on more carbohydrates. They definitely feel the difference. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't mean you can't ever have it. You can. But this boosting up this metabolism and getting that metabolism going again after we've been sitting on our tushes all these months during this pandemic, and it's still going on, it really is clean eating, and you will totally feel so much less bloated and thick. The thickness goes away because it attacks adipose tissue.
Right. And I think you're really, that part about, you have to make a plan, and like you have to get things out of sight, like I even cleaned up, like I have this big bowl that I always have on my counter. And it's the Lavinia approved snacks. Okay. So that bowl but the truth of it is, on this metabolic restart, whatever, I've had to pull things out of there because it's not approved for that. But I like put it there, and then I have a little step ladder in my pantry, and I get up on the step ladder and everything. No, seriously, my husband and I have this joke, like, if he's going on the step ladder, I'm like, "You're really going up there?" And he's like, and I'm like, because it takes something, like, and then if you're really going up to, okay, you really want it, have it, like, but a lot of times you get this urge, and if you let it just pass, or like you say, like for me, I go and have a little bit of hot water, and then I think about it, and I'm like, okay, why did I, and then it just goes. Like, if
we can't always be perfect, but this program right now is a reboot. This is to rev up your metabolism. It's to clean us up. It's to get all the junk out of our system and get away from that foggy brainness, because when we eat all the starch and sugars, we're producing a lot of serotonin, so we're in la land. This is a clean way of eating, and you feel the difference immediately.
Yeah, you definitely, my digestion definitely feels better. Even my sleep is better. And I think I'm a pretty good sleeper, but the last few nights I felt like a little bit, again, I know for me, this is more protein than I've probably had in quite a few
years.
But
you know what, Lavinia, I have cut down so much protein in my diet, but I still have it 3 times a day. Right. I eat small amounts. When before I needed larger amounts. I don't need that anymore, because I listen to my body. So I eat a lot more vegetables now, and I eat, vegetables that have sugar. But that comes after you've cleaned yourself out, after you've booted up that metabolism, and you'll get more energy. You'll be more awake.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely, I feel great. I feel so good. And I just think I needed that too. Like I needed something to, and, you know, it's also, I really like creating new things that create more discipline in my life. Like I know that I feel like a lot of my success is because I do have that. You know, I'm very lucky that I started at a young age, you know, dancing and gymnastics and
Lavinia, from the day I met you,
I
you
know
were
you always,
always disciplined,
yeah.
always.
So I feel like that was always, I mean, you know, and usually when I gain a little weight, it's more because I've gotten a little injury and then I can't work out as
Mhm.
hard as I used to. And then, you know, even
Mhm.
though I always say, I really believe 80% of the equation of weight loss, of, you know, keeping your weight is the food. You know, the food is so much more important. I mean, I, in the past, I used to watch women, especially, you know, doing the Stairmaster for hours and hours and hours, or going and doing like 2 SoulCycle classes back to back. And then it would like gave them the okay to go and eat whatever they wanted all day. And I would just sit there and think like, um, I don't get that because, you know, when we really think about health, we think about ourselves. And, you know, when you think about like, okay, I'm going to eat this donut or whatever, like you have to be present that you're eating this donut, chop, 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 chew, 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 digest. This is actually what's forming your cells to keep
That's right.
what kind of nutrients is in that donut, like that I actually want that to to bind and be part of my cells. Like I get like a little bit crazy with that. Now, not to say that every once in a while, but you know, for me, my sugars are usually honey. I mean, not obviously on this, but you know, I'm more of a honey person. I um, you know, use maybe even a little bit. I make these amazing, delicious chocolate chip cookies, but they're made with almond meal and almond and coconut oil and just coconut sugar. And then the dark, dark chocolate, like dark, dark chocolate chips. And they're delicious and they're relatively healthy, you know, but I'm so careful. Like I make those and like, it's funny, I'll make the batch and then I'll make like 5 cookies. So whoever's over gets 1 cookie. And they're like, I thought you made a batch of cookies. I said, no, I don't make a batch of cookies. I put it in the refrigerator. And then a few days later.
Discipline.
Do I-
Great discipline. That's
Yes,
great discipline. However, that's not what we're doing now.
no, I
want to get away from that. I baked so many things over the pandemic. Oh my goodness. I made dinners like I'd never made before. It was something to do. Food is love. It was, but now it's gone. Everything's out of the house.
And the other thing that you said, it made me remember, this was a technique that you shared with me many years ago, and I still to this day use it, is that when I'm going to a restaurant, and of course, this doesn't happen a lot during the pandemic because I haven't really,
Right.
but when I go to the restaurant, if we're going to a restaurant that I am not familiar with, I get online and I look at the menu.
Right.
And I decide after lunch when my stomach is full
what you're going to
I'm
eat.
going to order. And I literally put it in my phone. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, I'm going to get the tricolore salad, the sole with spinach, and I'm done. So then when everybody else is there, the waiter comes and I'm like, I'm going to have the tricolore salad and the sole with spinach. Like, and because at that moment you're hungry. Like, you know, like I'm the one saying, take the bread. We don't need the bread.
That's so part of the discipline. And I've always decided before I got to any restaurant what I was basically going to eat. We didn't have internet then, but now I do that. And that really helps tremendously. I don't know when all the restaurants are going to open. I have no clue, but it's a great thing to do. You don't have to look through the menu and drive yourself crazy. But this is a great diet for cleaning yourself out and boosting your metabolism.
I love that. So I know you talk a lot about accountability. So I think we're going to have the food, and I just want everybody to know we are going to have this food plan will be on my website, laviniaerrico.com. So you'll be able to go on there and print it, so you'll have it. And then we'll do the version 2. So Barbara, but talk a little bit more about like what other things in accountability, excuse me, can people do in order to boost the chances of a success?
Bottom line, accountability is having someone to talk to go to, a counselor, a dietitian, a coach. People go to Weight Watchers meetings. You have to show up. You have to be there. You have to take that time and be accountable to that group, that person. And you have to be accountable to journaling what you're doing. You've got to look at yourself in the mirror and put down everything that you've eaten for the day. It makes things so clear for you and gives you a lot of power. You don't want, we forget about what we've eaten in the corner when we're standing up. You write that down. Right. And make sure you're connected. We can't do all of this by ourselves. We need each other.
Well, I've always done things with friends. Like I like to take, that's what I'm going to present now is I'm going to send a little thing out to a couple of my girlfriends that I know, the ones especially that have put on the weight, and say, hey, why don't we do this all together? Mm-hmm. And then this way people can share, because it's always, it's funny because I started doing this. I said I was going to do it. And all of a sudden my son came in, I think it was the same day, and came over and he said, Mom, I'm going to have an omelet. And I said, oh, okay, great. I said, do you want a little cheese on that? And he goes, no. And then I have this special bread that he normally likes. And I said, are you going to, I'll make you that. He goes, nope, I want it clean. And I thought,
yeah.
And
right.
He does not need the diet, but he likes to eat clean, whatever. He's like, you know what? I had a couple weeks where
people could always just visualize in your head, when you're eating carbohydrates, you're expanding yourself. That's why you feel round and puffy.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. Okay, good. So just because we're going to be needing to end pretty soon, but let's talk a little bit about your coaching, like the stuff. I know you have an online program, and one of the reasons why I'm really interested and passionate about this program, Barbara, is because so many people are pivoting. So many people lost their jobs. I can't tell you how many great friends who are senior, like C-level, really high level with these companies and fashion and different areas, and they've all lost jobs, and they're like, you know what, Lavinia, I want to rethink this. Maybe, and there's so many of them that I want to say, you know what? First of all, they live consciously, because I think that's like they've worked out, they live conscious lives, they've been working on themselves in different ways, some of them through more traditional therapy, some of them more through like doing Tony Robbins or doing Insight or doing Landmark or whatever. So they've evolved like consciously. And I look at them and I think these guys would make great coaches. Like they would be great at being health coaches. Some of them have worked through some of their own challenges of being heavy at one point. Mm-hmm. And I always know that is sometimes they make some of the best coaches when you have that.
They do. When you have the experience, you can connect with people so much better. Book knowledge is wonderful, but it's understanding what people are feeling.
Right. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Because I know you were also just rated in the top 10 of like.
I'm in the top 5 for the National Board of Health and Wellness Coaches. Right. I have an online course that is 20 continuing ed credits. And now I just want to mention that hospitals are hiring coaches because the doctors do not have time to help you just determine what you're going to eat and tell you about exercise. So hospitals are hiring coaches. It's a great place to look for a job. A lot of health facilities are using coaches, and a lot of trainers are using this course because it is 20 credits. It's nationally
So
board certified.
they're the CEC credits for what? For
For health and wellness coaches and trainers.
so if someone hasn't done any of that, they can still take this course?
Yes, they can still take this course. This course is teaches about, let's see, the psychology of how your client is feeling, what he's really telling you, what he's not telling you, so that you'll be able to get more connected with this person and help them change their thoughts and their limited beliefs, because so many people don't understand it's what you think is what you create.
Oh, for sure.
So this course, and it has an incredible manual that is so well illustrated with tons of exercises to do. Maybe you could put some online for your clients.
Oh, I would love.
Yeah, I think Candy sent you some of them.
And what is it, a year long? Is it, how long is the course?
It's as long as you want to take. You know, you have to finish each section before the next section is open to you. But it's interesting, it's colorful, and it gives the coaches, nutritionists, a lot of chiropractors are using this, life coaches are using this. It teaches them how to feel good also about what they're doing. They know what the hell they're talking about now. And it also teaches that connection, to connect with your client and give your client instant gratification because you feel good about yourself. You understand yourself. You're clear.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I love what you're doing. I mean, Barbara, the thing about you is you keep evolving, growing and growing, and it's so inspiring. Like I really get inspired by you, and
this was a dream of mine, and it started literally with mentoring your staff at Equinox.
Wow.
I wrote a manual, so I knew what the hell I was doing, so I could teach. So now that coaching is such a big career, and it's being acknowledged in hospitals and nursing homes. And
you know, I want to say something about a hospital is, you know, my husband, a lot of people know he's had a health condition, and we're up at Stanford. I mean, we have the best doctors that you can imagine, and we're up there, and the oncologists are just unbelievable. And, you know, from day one, I mean, from the time my husband met me, food has always been a big thing. I've always talked about, and I'm a foodie, you know, it's not like I'm not I love food, but you know, the way we eat and so forth. And, but when it came to his situation, I was like, okay, we're taking that away. We're taking that away. We're taking that away. They were taking that away. And then he would ask her, he'd ask the oncologist, and it would kind of be like, and finally, and I think she probably Googled me and figured out that this woman knows a little bit about health. And anyway, finally, the next time we were there, he said to Eric, I think you should listen to your wife. He said, because we have not spent that much time really understanding nutrition. I mean, this is like one of the biggest doctors up at Stanford are saying, like, we haven't done that. He goes, I really think your wife knows what she's talking about. Now, I will say, it isn't just the wife. I have my people that I talk to and the things that I read. It's not like I'm like saying that I know everything, but I love resourcing this. I love understanding, you know, I really love understanding all of this. And, you know,
if people would just understand that inflammation, and Martha McCulley's father is one who just said this, inflammation is the cause of such disease. And what does inflammation come from?
Yeah.
Starches, sugars, the white stuff. So
yeah,
when
I'm going to say something, because I get my blood work done, and I get a special blood work that I wish they would open up that insurance would cover, and they don't. But I get my blood work done, and it shows all my inflammation, the factors that bring it up. And that's the part that's also a little bit daunting, is like, for me, avocado, cashews, like tomatoes, like there's some really healthy things that cause inflammation that I wouldn't have known. I mean, I'm Italian. I used to eat tomatoes like just for a meal. So
Well,
like, yeah.
It's different for also.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is like, I think it's so important for people to kind of like, yes, I think the big thing is those sugars, for sure. There's no doubt, the wheat. And I was listening to one podcast that I loved, and there was this woman talking about like how years ago they used to get the wheat from Russia and everybody was healthy. But then once America started making the wheat, the gluten balls, when it used to be this big, but then when America came, the gluten balls started to be this big. So it's like, it just changed what wheat is. But but the interesting
in America, Lavinia, we chop the wheat down and the sugar, and it goes through the machinery 200 times. So there's no fiber, there's no vitamins and minerals. Everything we add is fake. So we literally strip it down. So it's not what they were getting in Europe. It's just not. The wheat today is so processed, it's ridiculous.
So processed. I mean, that's a for sure one that I think everybody would benefit by. Just like, maybe when you go to Europe, you could have your little wheat binge there because it's still much healthier. But here it's like, that is like such a no.
Well, when people clean out their diets and clean up their food, they can be their own doctor and know what foods don't agree with them. Because when you're clean, you're sensitive to everything. As people are always complaining as they grow older, the aches, the pains, the arthritis, that's inflammation. I don't have any of that. And I do eat sweets here and there. I do. I love it. But I don't eat it regularly. And I don't have inflammation. So, and when Dr. McCauley discovered inflammation, wow, remember that, Lavinia? That was incredible.
No, and he was so way ahead of his time, because people weren't talking about that. They were just looking at cholesterol. Right. Cholesterol was like, that was it. It was cholesterol. And then they realized, and they even thought he was crazy. Like, this guy's crazy. What's he talking about? He's totally giving up a completely different view on it. And now we know that it is inflammation is something big. And I will tell you, my hands, because sometimes when I would wake up in the morning, my hands would be a little stiff, and my feet. But what I've noticed is I'm not feeling anything. Like, I am really feeling really good.
When I eat a piece of cake or I eat something off, I immediately feel stiff.
Right.
So I don't want to feel that way. I don't eat it. Not that I'm perfect, but I feel so good eating clean, and the results are great.
Right. Oh my God, Barbara, thank you so much. I'm so appreciative. It's always great to connect with you. I get inspired, and right now I'm gonna have this visual of if I eat carbohydrates, I'm gonna turn into like the Lavinia Pillsbury.
I teach that to my students, but we'll do it. I'll get you going on the second phase. Yes. How to bring in those carbohydrates and not gain weight.
Okay, good. All right. I'm so excited. We're going to have all this information on, guys, will be on our website. I'm so excited to share it with you because I know I'm feeling so great. I've actually gotten a couple emails from people today, like, Lynn, I want you to know I already lost 2 pounds.
That's great.
It's really good, because the thing is, like, when you feel good, you look good, and then you do good, like we do good. And like, that's really exciting to just be able to do that.
You feel clear, you feel sharp, you don't feel like you're out of it. And so many people, as they get older, they get lazy with their food, and they eat a lot of bread, and they they just deteriorate.
Yeah.
They
Well,
get
this
all thick.
is amazing. So thank you guys. We're going to end this. And please remember, we have a new initiative, our MMMM, which is Monday Morning Mindset and Movement. We have an amazing trainer on from Barry's Boot Camp. I adore her, Ingrid Clay, 9:30 Pacific time, 12:30 Eastern time, Monday. Next week, we have on my dear friend, Barbara Bijou, and we're going to be really honing in on some really good rituals that we can be doing that will actually, even rituals to help this plan get easier, because love rituals. I love making everything a little ritualistic. It makes it feel a little more fun and yummy. And I like to have fun. And during this pandemic, it hasn't been as much fun as I like in my life. All right, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.